Alright, I said I'm gonna play more Arceus today. Partially because I'm moving stuff, like I'm having, I don't want to say computing issues, I'm having external issues. Don't worry, it's not an external, like the external still works, right? It's not the externals that have my channel backed up, even though there's a bunch of streams I need to download since I haven't backed any up in a while. It's nothing too crazy, it still works, and I already know from experience that while the externals work, get everything onto another one. So I'm working on that at the moment. And then I'll have to spend more money on another one, which is going to be fan-fucking-tastic, because I love spending money. There's nothing I love more than seeing all my hard-earned money get pissed away like a racehorse. I don't know. Okay, we're done with Perugly? Yeah, we are. So what did I say I'm up to? Okay, Dusknoir is one of those evolution Pokemon. Mantine Basculin. We're really running out of Pokemon here. That's another evolution Pokemon. Bronzong is another one that I have in my party. Gliscor is another evolution, you know, like one of those new Gen 4 evolutions. And basically Rotom. Like, actually, believe it or not, Rotom, I guess, doesn't fit into either an Arceus new Pokemon, like a new form or a new Arceus Pokemon, nor does it fit into the other category, which is a Gen 4 evolution. So Rotom is actually a Pokemon to work on. Sneasler is an evolution Pokemon. Here's our trait evolutions. Bergmite. I think I said I was going to catch a Bergmite, right? Yeah, okay. So maybe we should go do Bergmite. Bergmite, and we have to catch a bunch of Snovers. So I guess we're going to the fucking ice field for like 20 hours until I hate myself. Hello, Ash. Hello, Raiden. Welcome back to Suffering Indeed. Okay, let's get started. Poke Earth. Alabaster. We are looking for Bergmite. Are these stars where they could jump? No. What the fuck is this? Outbreak? Oh, it's possible. Oh my god. Well, the good news, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that there's a ton of places Bergmite can spawn. The bad news is that there's a ton of places Bergmite can spawn. So it could be any of these three in here. Nope. Nothing there. Oh yeah, Raiden, have you, were you here with the Metroid stuff? I think you were, right? Yeah, I think I've spoken to all the Metroid fans about the new Metroid games. Okay. No, not over here. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. I got a lot on my mind, so I've been a little bit scatterbrained, unfortunately. What the fuck? What am I looking for up here? It says there's an ore there. Okay, there's an ore deposit. Basically, I think it's almost any ore deposit in the game. Now, here's the question I have to ask, okay? Do you think it's faster if I just look at those 3 ore deposits over and over again? It might genuinely be faster for me to just reload the map, look in there, reload the map, look in there. I'm trying to see if there's any other close ones. Well, damn, I'll have to attack me with Caps. Shit. Caps was on for some god-awful reason. She was yelling at someone before the stream. Caps were on full blast. They're like, yes! Yes! It is faster, idiot! Okay, well, there's also going to be some ones over here I'm going to look at as well. There's apparently also one up here. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to... Oh, I forget you take fall damage in Sneasler, which makes no sense, but whatever. We're gonna... I'm trying to figure out the path to really quickly check both of the spawn areas. Right? Oh, good lord, this is gonna be awful. You know, it might just be faster to check those 3 over and over again. and not even check the other ones, right? Because I have to even figure out where they are. I already went past them, I think. Yeah, okay. So there's a couple over here, right? There's like 7, I think, in this area. 6 or 7. And basically, if none of them are jumping, we will leave. However, before we start to farm Bergmite like this, I am going to go check out, Snover. I am going to go catch those three couple Snovers, just so that way I could hopefully make progress on catching big Snovers. Because once I catch enough Snovers, we could just go spam Ice Shard on some low-level enemies, and then the Snover will be done, because that's another Pokemon I need to complete. In the meanwhile, if we see any, that also works. Alright, stay in. Thank you. It's actually interesting. You do not slide in this game. Oh, this one looks big. Look at that. Look at this fucking thing. Very nice. That was correct. It's actually kind of crazy how you could look at it. Oh, here we go. You could actually look at it and see that it's bigger. That's such a cool thing. Fuck! Alright, cool. Now remember, we don't actually have to fight this, by the way. We could just leave. There's no reason for me to fight the Mamoswine. We could just leave. You just have to see it jump out. So there you go. Very nice. You do not have to fight it. You could just leave. Hello, Devin. I like how the Devin's first thing is, speaking of suffering, I've been playing Elden Ring. No greater factory of salt than a FromSoft game. That's good to hear. Okay. Basically, it's any ore deposit on the map this thing can jump out of. So I just haven't been hitting up enough of these. Fortunately, it's something that's simple enough to do that we could just, like, kind of roam around a little bit. We don't have to play, like, super hardcore or anything like that. Alright, there's one down here somewhere, apparently. I have no idea where. Where the fuck is this? It's, like, right over here. Nope. How much I got over this, but I can't wait for you to play this. I got a lot of things to play, but with Dawn Trail on the horizon, I don't know. It's gonna be rough, man. I have such a streamlined build that I'm not having too much trouble with anything. I just have to learn a bit more about the enemies. I mean, maybe you're just really, really skilled. I've heard some people say it's like one of the most difficult things FromSoft has ever made, but I feel like it is entirely possible that... Wait, where the fuck am I? It's entirely possible that people just say that every time FromSoft literally puts out anything at all, ever. So I don't know. I don't want to say that people are lying, right? You know, I don't want to be that dude. But yeah, you know how it is sometimes. Sometimes people over-exaggerate. What's actually funny though is my friends actually went to the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert. I didn't even know it was happening today in New York at Carnegie Hall. But I said, you know what? I'm good. I don't even have money for tickets, so it's not a big deal. It is what it is. It's not a problem. Like I said, I have other things. If I hypothetically had the money, I would need to dump the money into. So it's great. Wait, what happened to all my money? I thought I had like $1 million Poké Dollars. What happened to all my money? That's so weird. I have no idea what happened to it, nor do I really care. I don't really even need money for anything. Next thing I'm gonna do is buy full restores, and then that way, what difficulty am I gonna have ever again at that? This is like how my Heart Gold was way back in the day when I used to play Heart Gold all the time. I had so much fucking money in that game, and I still have so much fucking money in that game that, like, you know, it's all a suggestion. You know what I mean? Inevitably, if you play one of the good Pokemon games enough, you just have basically infinite money. especially one of the ones that you could very easily farm over and over again, you just will have too much money. It's kind of inevitable. I don't really mind it. I think that's actually really fun that there's a game where there's basically infinite replayability, and you can pretty much get as much stuff as you want non-stop for eternity. Like, I like that. And that's why I like Heart Gold. Is there's only a few things about Heart Gold that makes it not perfect, and obviously it's that way, so that way they want to encourage you to buy the other games and play them. Which I'm not, like, the biggest fan of, but whatever. It is what it is, you know? Pokemon Scarlet Violet, I'm somehow always broke? Yeah, because... What? Oh, shit. Let's catch this, actually, so we can use a Bergmite. That sounded pretty good. That was not pretty good, but I'm out of aggro range, so fuck him. Yeah, glad you're feeling better, Ash. The reason why you're broke in Scarlet Violet is because there's no fast way to gain money. See, in Gen 7, you could just use Poke Pelago, and you would just get basically... Wait, what did I drop? A candy? Fuck. Doppel Bonnets. Goodbye. You could, like, I made a ton of money off Poke Pelago. If you just do that every day, twice a day, on 12-hour increments for feeding them gummies, you can make a shit ton of money in Pokemon. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. You can make a fuck ton of money. And that's why I liked it. I was like, damn, you could, you know, I don't have to do all this weird upkeep and stuff, right? Because the days of the good old, like, Gen 1 through 4 grinding is over. Right, like, I at that point, I already kind of accepted that Pokemon was never going to be like that again. Obviously, this is before Sword and shit, where things actually got bad in Pokemon, and they were just actually bad games. But, like, I could live with Gen 7. I didn't hate Gen 7. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought out of the previous couple generations, it was really good. Now, if you like battling, apparently Gen 5 was really good. But, you know... That's another story for another time. You really do just sound like Link. It might be the same actor, honestly. Imagine if it was the same guy. Alright, very nice. Alright, and we're already at 9. Alright. Yeah, I don't think this one's on the chart, actually. Oops. And I am well aware that I am far away from my mic. My apologies. Okay, let's leave. I think a lot of people are returning to the game and jumping into a new DLC, a high-level DLC at that. It's possible it's skewing their view because they haven't played for a while. Maybe. I could agree to that. I don't know. Again, I haven't really been following it too hard. What? Save the fucking game. What is it? 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 Where? What is it? I have no idea. Oh. It was the Mischievous. Okay. Alright. It was a Mischievous. We'll catch it. And that's exactly why you save. Because it could be above ground, it could be below ground. And the Mischievous is a Pokemon that flees instantly, so we will revisit. God doesn't know he's going to bitch and cause me a headache. What about what? I'm having a good day today, all things considered. Think about it. We're going to make even more progress on this game. That's something to be super happy about. Why would I get mad at this game? What is there to get mad at anymore? I'm not, like, this game is, like, this game's not great. But it's not great because it's just missing a lot of very obvious features. Like, I don't get mad at this game. Scarlet Violet I'll get mad at. Because... Scarlet... I'm sorry, that noise just makes me happy, man. That noise just fills me with so much pleasure. It's so crazy. And they don't even play the fucking... the visual cue. I just assumed it was this guy just because... That's so wild to me. Yeah, it was a green Mischievous. How you're supposed to know that that was the shiny, that's anyone's guess. Alright, what was I doing again? Lost my train of thought entirely. Completely derailed by a green ghost. I was waiting for the first yelling about something in the new expansion. Hold on. What was I doing? Let me pull up the map again, sorry. Hold on. GX. Alright, cool. Hey, when you complain about something, Ash, I'm gonna say it gives me a headache. You're not gonna like that. I'm just saying. I say good things about the things I like. If Pokemon Scarlet ran at a 60 FPS, it'd be a great Pokemon game. No, it would not. It's missing so many features. It looks like an N64 game. But yes, I can agree. The first step should be to have a locked frame rate. Like, for fuck's sake, even this game lags less. Yes, so I would agree to some aspects of what you said. Yes. Do I think the game could be great if the frame rate was fixed? No, but that would be part of it. That would be like maybe 20% of it. Would be, we need to fix the frame rate, because if all you ever do when you look at the Switch is you look at, oh, you know, like even Bayo 3 had frame rate issues, unfortunately, right? Even Bayo 3 had some frame rate issues. But Scarlet and Violet is like one of the worst examples of a game that has terrible frame rate I think I've ever seen in my life. It's actually really disgusting that passed any amount of quality check at Nintendo. To think that other companies under Nintendo are put under more scrutiny than Scarlet Violet is disgusting on almost every level imaginable. It is a depressing shame that so many of these companies, they put in 110%, don't sell as many copies, and then Pokemon comes out and just drops slop. And then they're like, oh yeah, this is fine. Quality? Who cares about that? Now, it doesn't even run at a locked 30 FPS. That's the worst part, right? Like, at least if it ran at a locked 30. Like, not having a locked frame rate at this point is just on you as the fucking dev. Something's not right. Because all this hardware now is the most advanced, obviously, it's ever been. There ain't no way that you couldn't figure out getting a locked frame rate, so. Now, if you wanted to ask me, well, what do we need to do to fix Scarlet Violet? I mean, that's a lot of stuff, man. That's like a stream unto itself, you know? And it even goes as far back as returning set and shift and turning off animations. Like, just make it so animations are forced in a raid, although I have my own gripes about the raiding systems, right? So, like, there's a lot, and they won't do it, and that's why ZA I'm very cautious about. I don't even know if I want to buy it when it first drops. I might just wait and get it cheaper. Oh, sweet, I forgot. Alright. How many do we need to see? Please say 10. Oh my god, it's 15. Holy shit. I mean, fortunately, this is not one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's also just not one of the most fun. You could roll really well, or you could roll really shittily. I think I passed one. Apparently there's one right here, and then there's another right over there. Is it jumping? I can't tell. No. Just got home and showered and been swinging, drinking like a racehorse. Okay, for a second I thought you meant drinking alcohol. I was like, what the hell? And then I realized you were talking about work, yeah. You had me scared for a minute. It's not jumping. You know what I really want to play again? I really want to play Brilliant Diamond. At least for one stream, I just want to play it again. I don't know. That's the closest to, like, super nostalgia baiting I'm gonna get. Because, like, we're never gonna get Hoenn games on the Switch. I want to really kind of play Brilliant Diamond again. It's, like, the closest I can get to, you know, getting back to that feeling I used to have when I was much younger, man. When Pokemon games were good. And ironically, Brilliant Diamond's terrible. But it's good because it hits that nostalgia really nicely up until, like, the end of the game. And then, like, doing stuff for that. Like, the Underground is an amazing addition. I love how they changed it. It's fantastic. Imagine if the Underground had, like, co-op or something. But even without co-op, the fact that they just retooled it into being a single-player thing is dope. How could I possibly be angry about it? Wait, what's in this cave? I think this is where you find Zorua. Or Zorua. Yeah, I feel nostalgia, too, for a lot of games I haven't played in a while. And, like, yeah, I technically could play them on the Switch or play them for the channel. But then I feel bad because I'm like, well, damn, what if I were to play something I haven't done before? It's not like it's like a personal challenge like this game, right? Or something else. Sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, damn, I remember when I used to love this game. Like, imagine playing Into the Matrix, like, Summertime always makes me nostalgic because that's when I would play all my games. Like, I would have no school, nothing. I would go to summer camp, come home, and just play games, like, the whole rest of the day. Play all kinds of GameCube games, all kinds of stuff that used to make me happy. Oh god, okay, I'm not doing this again. It feels like Snorunt is very common in the center of the map. I'm just gonna avoid that because why not? The mining this? Yeah, the underground. Oh, you mean like the mining in it? No, not like that. Just, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't work. I guess it wouldn't work. It's cool that they made it useful, because in the original game, the underground was useless, and you weren't really going to do anything down there at all. So they made it something, like, worthwhile to engage with, obviously, if you want to complete the decks and find other Pokemon. I like that. It's a shame that they patched the duplication glitch, obviously. It's not, like, the biggest thing in the world. It's obviously something you use to cheat, but whatever. I mean, like, that's the big thing about... the other thing, too, by the way, since I forgot this, is that Area Zero should allow you to see your friends. For a game that's the defining part of it is co-op, the fact that you physically cannot see your friends in Area Zero is... And that has nothing to do with frame rate. I just think that Area Zero is the biggest area in the game, and they could not figure out how to make it work and not either crash, like, constantly, or just make it... Yeah, they just couldn't figure it out. That is terrible. That is the worst part about that. Because I was actually trying to find stuff... Oh my god. This big disembodied head. I was trying to find stuff in Area Zero with my friend because, you know, they were trying to... What is this thing doing? This absolute fucking menace. This Jason Voorhees looking fucker is chasing me. That is so disgusting. I never liked how Glalie looked. Hang on. I think we need, what, one more? Okay. You not, bro? Stay in, please. Thank you. Oh! No, it's not jumping. Yeah, but I don't know. That's just me personally. Like, I would have preferred... Like, I know that multiplayer is important in a lot of games, but I think a lot of games focus too hard on multiplayer and not enough on a nice, tight single-player experience. I think that nothing beats having a really well-done campaign or a really well-done story mode. I think that's what really makes something stick with people, because if your multiplayer, like, just dies or isn't good, like, then who's going to care about your game at all as a whole? And so, to me, personally, that's why, you know, I was talking with my friend today about Exoprimal, because, you know, Gundam Otaku's been playing it a lot, and I'm like, dude, do you think anyone's going to remember this game in 5 years at all? Who is talking about Exoprimal? Like, what's the big multiplayer games that are out at the moment? None of them are Exoprimal. None of them. Literally none of them are Exoprimal. And I'm not saying that the game is necessarily bad. I just think that, you know, these companies will always put together these games and then they don't go anywhere. And, like, I don't know, maybe it's just time to read the room. Like, it might be a good idea, but it's not worth it. Well, Fire Emblem is an entirely single-player game. It's not even just one that I really like because of the story or the characters. Like, just having a tight single-player experience is better. Like, imagine if Fire Emblem had a multiplayer game. Like, for the most part, Fire Emblem has never had multiplayer at all. I don't even think it's ever had competitive, and it might have had co-op in the Dynasty Warriors games. And that, to me, is why Fire Emblem Three Houses is not only one of the best games on the Switch, one of the most memorable strategy games I've ever played, but also just in general, one of my favorite games of all time. Because even when I was playing it and, you know, doing the playthrough for the first time, I was like, damn. You know, you look at yourself in the mirror after, like, I don't know, you go in, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, whatever. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, dude, I'm never going to play a game like this again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You know, and it awes you as much as it stresses you and makes you sad. It's like, this game is so good, I know that 10 years from now, I will still recommend people to play it, as if it just came out yesterday. And that is peak design, to me. That, to me, is the mark of a studio that knew exactly what they wanted to do, set out to do it, and did it successfully. And there's things I critique about it a little bit, right? I feel like the New Game Plus definitely feels like a last-minute addition, so there's not as much grinding. Now, certain Fire Emblem players will be like, you shouldn't have New Game Plus, or whatever. I think you should. I think it's fine to have New Game Plus in a game, right? It doesn't detract from the base game. Like, if you just want to start a new game literally every time, you are more than capable of doing it. I feel like you should be able to skip some of the chapters, you know, a la Nier Automata. I think Nier Automata's chapter select is one of the best things that they ever put in an action game like that. You know, it would allow you to replay some missions. Maybe you could resume the story from different portions. Even if you have to beat all the campaigns to unlock it, I think it would be worthwhile. They have a challenging DLC, which was fun, and I'll never play again. And, you know, things like that. And that's what makes a really tight single-player experience. Like, even Yoshi's Crafted World was a game I really liked. I don't know, most of you probably don't even know I played that game. But even that game was a very tight, well-crafted single-player experience. See, the other problem, yeah, it came out at the wrong time. I think that if it at least had, like, a really in-depth storyline, it would have helped it. Like, Titanfall 2 has a really good campaign. It has a good story, right? And it also has really interesting gameplay mechanics, and that's why I love Respawn Entertainment. When they're allowed to make single-player games, they know what the fuck they're doing, and I love them for that, right? When they were Infinity Ward, and they were making Modern Warfare 2, every level in COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 has a unique twist, a unique challenge on Veteran. Something is cool about that mission that makes it unique. And that design shows over into Titanfall 2. Every mission, there is some unique, like, plot gimmick or something like that. And one of the big ones they talk about is Effect and Cause, where you're toggling between two timelines, which is cool. You know, when you played Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, you could tell that these guys, yeah, they played a Souls game, but they knew at the end of the day it was a Star Wars game, and it is very memorable for that. It's the only piece of Disney canon I actually give a shit about. Everything else, I don't care. Exoprimal could have had, like, a good campaign, in-depth campaign. Like, Phantom Pain has a really good campaign. It's one of the few things I will remember about Phantom Pain, you know, 10 years from now, is how it was like the Peace Walker engine, but evolved. Anyone care about Metal Gear Survive? And now my friends played it. I don't begrudge people for playing it, but, you know, at least I will say, like, something about it was memorable, right? Phantom Pain. It was cool. It was like an epic conclusion. And then we had the real life part of the drama. Is that French or is that, like, Belgian or something? Fifth, by the way. That's what really sets a game apart. And that's how you make a really memorable single player. And for Pokemon, all of that is already there. All of that is already there. Just by virtue of them doing it almost at this point 30 fucking years ago, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They could just say, okay, we know people like Pokemon. We know they get attached to it. We know people like the metagame. They like doing breeding. They like doing fishing. They like doing contests. They like doing all this other stuff. Like, why don't you just do more of that, you know? Do more of that. It's crazy how literal games from 2002 have more content in them than a modern day... He point blanked me even though he was stunned. That's crazy. Anyway. Than a modern day, like, 2022 Pokemon game. Like, the 3 different storylines were cool, I guess, in Scarlet Violet. I wasn't thrilled by them, but I could at least sit here and tell you that they were at least kinda cool, right? There's probably other Snover spawns, I just don't particularly care much. But all of you have a favorite game. You already know what makes your favorite game your favorite game. Every one of you knows this. I don't have to explain this to you like you're 5. You could explain it to me, because you already know what makes your favorite game your favorite game. Is it the setting, you know, the narrative, the characters, the gameplay, the music, the graphics potentially for the time? It's probably some mixture of all 4 of those, you know? And that's enough. There's legit throwaway platformers I played 20 years ago that are more memorable to me than Pokemon Scarlet Violet. The only reason it's memorable is because it has the name Pokemon on it. We're actually gaining height, by the way, which is very unique. Sell it to the teachers, they need it. Yeah, well, if you are a teacher, you probably need dust to deal with how kids are today. Did we really look through all the areas already? This is really bad. I'm going to look at this Gardevoir event as well. I'm going to do that afterwards. But that's why I think the changes that need to happen to Pokemon will never happen, because they have to come from up top. And they're probably too nepotized. They're not going to tell people like Masuda to step down and force him to do so. They're not going to do that. It sucks, but I think that's just how it's always going to be. They're not going to tell them to step down or, you know, changing of the guard. That's not going to happen. As long as Pokemon makes $1 billion, they don't care how good or bad the games are. So, oh shit. Wait, I wonder, is this one that spawns it? I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, no, it isn't. It's only certain ones that can spawn it. That's why I'm kind of like, ugh, whatever. I didn't really like Gen 5. Gen 5 was the start of all the things I did not like about Pokemon. Linear regions and all this stuff. I didn't like that. I thought that was awful. They're like, oh, you know, the region is a circle. And I'm like, wow, it's so boring. It feels nothing like Hoenn and Sinnoh, which have intermingling paths and stuff. It just felt empty. It felt very boring. It felt like they linearized the game super hard. And I just was not enthralled by it at all. And I mean, Gen 7 isn't much better. But yeah, I don't know. I like it when the routes are like intertwined. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way that the games used to be. I feel like having routes is cool. Like I said, open world is good if you are good at developing an open world. If you are... Oh, I didn't go see the Gardevoirs! Fuck! Whatever. If you can't develop an open world game, then there's no point. Like, if you can't ensure the quality of it, then there's no point. It is what it is, so. Oh, man. Dude, nothing in here has ever been jumping. Are we sure it's the stuff in the cave and not the stuff on top? I think it is, right? Can it even be one of the things up here? You know, this might actually be a faster way to climb. Holy shit, I never thought about this. That is actually a faster way to climb up. Very interesting. Did I see Ubisoft had the balls to release Beyond Good and Evil HD? I mean, that was a long time ago. I don't blame them for that. That was like a 2010 Xbox Live Arcade release. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why? They also could just be prepping. They might also just be getting close to... I don't know if you mean something right now, like recently. They're gonna release on modern consoles. I mean, that's good. Ideally, you should want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that inherently. The problem is that they need to detail where they are with the current game. Because now, who are they going to sell it to? Like, unfortunately, Beyond Good and Evil is already a niche as fuck game. Who are they going to sell this to? The people who would have played a sequel to it probably left in 2012. after years of waiting for a sequel that never came and became vaporware, like, who is gonna play it? I mean, like, people will buy it, but then it's not gonna do the numbers they want, and then we have to do the whole song and dance again. Yeah, or they're just milking it. I guess that's what Raiden's trying to say, is that they're saying they're gonna sell it, and they're giving hope to the people who are left, as opposed to just releasing the fucking game, which should have come out a decade ago. Like for real, like dead ass, it should have come out a decade ago. Because, like, how crazy is this game gonna be? It disappears for 11 years, and then it resurfaces. The guy who made it, what's his name, Ansel or whatever, Michel Ansel, is not even working on the game anymore. He's gone. He's retired. He made Rayman, and he made that, and he made a couple other things, I think, and he's retiring. And so now they're gonna release it after it disappears. It's like, what the fuck, dude? All right, Biff, you have a good one. It's ridiculous. That's a very big bird mice. Alright. Let's run. They're gonna try to milk it overly hard. They don't need to. At this point, like, I don't know what Ubisoft is gonna do. I'll be honest with you. Like, as much as I like Ubisoft games, like, I feel like they're doing the complete wrong shit. I feel like they are focusing way too hard on the diversity elements in their fucking bullshit. I think that they should focus on what made all these franchises good, which was unique gameplay and interesting characters and good stories. Like, Assassin's Creed is naturally blessed with the ability to have all three of those. You could pick any time period in history, and you could have a game and set it in the Assassin's Creed universe, and the game would just work. The game is basically damn near a history lesson with some cool intrigue in it. And somehow they always fuck it up, man. We always reach this cycle of good games and then back to bad. And then good games and then back to bad. And then good games and then back to bad. And they never fail to do this shit. It's mind-boggling. It's so insane. It is such a crazy series to be a fan of, because you never know when they're just gonna fucking ruin it again. At least Pokemon been consistently dog shit for the last, like, half decade. Like, they'll legit give you hope. They started leaning way too hard on the supernatural angle. I don't know how much I agree with that. I think a lot of people will agree with you, though. I think a lot of people liked it when the Isu were not even called that, right? When they were just the ones who came before. I do agree that maybe there's a little bit too much influence from them in the modern games. But at the same time, it's led to some interesting plot lines. So, like, I'm not totally blown, like, oh my god, this is awful. I actually think it's fine for the most part. I think that there's really some interesting stuff that they're doing, like I said, with either Layla or some of the other characters that's pretty interesting. And, like, you couldn't have it if you still had them as these weird, shadowy figures. I just think that as a series that's had this overarching narrative that's been progressing in the background of these games for so long, like, inevitably you have to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, right? Like, even in Resident Evil, right? That's another series, for example. Go away. Even in Resident Evil, the company that Ada works for eventually got named. That was actually basically the plot of Resident Evil 6, is the guy who basically runs this Illuminati ring, is, like, insanely infatuated with Ada to the... It's a really weird plot, as all Resident Evil plot lines are. This guy who is, like, insanely infatuated with Ada, like, wants to destroy the world, basically, because they can't be together, and he brainwashes some woman to, like, basically look like her, and then the woman turns on him. It's a very weird plot line. But, like, eventually you have to kind of pull back the curtain and try to start, like, a new arc or something. You can't just have it be shadowy, mysterious figures, because then people would say, well, we have no answers, right? Every game, we don't get any closer to figuring out, you know, what's the intent behind this character, right? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? The other thing is, though, I feel like they kind of write it as they go along with a lot of these series. Whereas before, maybe you could argue, like, someone might have had a good idea of where we go from here. Nowadays, I feel like a lot of times they just write it as they go along. So things kind of feel a little disjointed when you have to wait 6 years to get a sequel. Used to focus a lot on history and characters. Now it's a lot of supernatural nonsense. It also muddled the gameplay a lot. That I would disagree with. I think Odyssey and Valhalla have really good gameplay. I think that the way the gameplay loop of Odyssey and Valhalla and even Origins on various levels is really good. I think the RPG elements is great. I think that them explaining, you know, the artifacts in Odyssey and how that impacts gameplay is a huge plus to the game. Now, and the history aspects are still there. Let's be fair here. The history aspects are still there. I think the problem is that when they have DLCs, they don't really tie the DLCs into the story too well. So, for example, out of the last 5 or so Assassin's Creed games, the best DLC I played was the first, which is the Hidden Ones, because it's a direct continuation on everything that happened in the main game. It sets up more of the assassin backstory, which is cool. Everything about that I liked. Curse of the Pharaohs was cool, but you could tell like they just either didn't get the guy to come back. I forget his name. The guy who voices Bayek. It has very little story. Bayek basically, it's like you're not even really playing a game. You're just running through areas and doing stuff. And there's a lot of stuff to do. It was a great DLC. It took me a long time. Hello, Blake, by the way. It took me a long time to beat that DLC. But at the same time, like, you know, like if you were to ask me, well, what was Bayek's involvement in it? There's like an opening cutscene, like 1 or 2 things for missions, and then Bayek never comments. Jeez, that scared me. And then Bayek just never comments on certain things, ever. And to me, that's kind of like a waste. It's like, well, why wouldn't you have him say something, you know? The Odyssey DLCs are good, but my biggest problem with Legacy of the First Blade is that it just reuses old areas. It would have been cool if for a game that has so much history with the Greeks and Persians, even one part of it took place in like a Persian area. That would be kind of cool. Unfortunately, we did not get that. Same thing for the Atlantis one. Really, none of the story really mattered until the last one. So they have a little bit of like back and forth, right? It's a little bit of give and take. And then Valhalla just has DLCs where you just go to places and do stuff. And I was not playing that roguelike DLC to get the minor amounts of story I didn't really care about. Well, the DLCs for Assassin's Creed 3 are canon. They just say that they're visions. They say that they're visions, basically. They are canon, technically. It also led for some absolute banger artwork, but to be fair, I hated Assassin's Creed 3, so I didn't even buy the third one. I don't even know, did I ever finish the Infamy? I don't even remember. I hated them so much. So, I don't know. If Assassin's Creed 3 is a difficulty slider, I'm turning it to easy, because I just don't even want to play that game. I did not enjoy that game at all. There are very, very few elements of that game I actually enjoyed. Like, okay, one thing that games always make you want to do is hunting. I do not like hunting in games. I do not like the survival aspect of needing to forage for equipment and gear and stuff. I do not like that in any video game. It feels like tedium to me. You know, a lot of things that you might think are tedium feel like absolute tedium to me. So I just don't like that. Well, the supernatural stuff was always there. I mean, like, that, in fairness... Oh, this guy looks pretty big. Look at him. Alpha Bidoof, by the way. Or Bibrol. Sorry. And an Alpha Eevee, you hear that? Holy shit. Yep, there you go. Very nice. Is it that one? Was it? No. Okay. Usually that cry, if it's distorted, is an Eevee, or an Alpha. I guess not. Okay. Where we talk about Assassin's Creed. I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as possible about it, but I think that it's fine. I don't know. I still don't think the introduction of the literal supernatural is a good clue, even though we're still in the advanced alien tech. Well, it's all still technology, Devin. In fairness to them, it is still all technology. There's not like literal magic. It's just all really advanced technology. Now, again, we could debate. Oh shit. We could debate how much advancement until technology becomes magic. But then that's not really an Assassin's Creed thing at that point. That's just more like a general, you know, how far in the future are you willing to go before technology becomes magic? Because if you go back 300 years, the very notion of having a stream like this is absolutely magic. Even like 20 years ago, the notion of any Joe Blow opening up his computer, which at that point had what, 512 megabytes of processing power, and your internet browser was basically your fucking ISP. Yeah, that era, even in and of itself, is kind of weird, you know? But technology always compounds upon itself, which is why things progress so quickly. I don't know. I think it's led to interesting story developments. My biggest thing is that with this Yasuke shit is a big red flag, bro. This Yasuke shit is a living red flag. I'm sorry. That to me tells me that they are not focused on the story at all. And after 3 games of having a really tight story and then Mirage kind of being like a good addendum to it, like, I'm very interested and also very wary of seeing exactly what the fuck they're going to do to the story. But that's just because modern writing standards are so fucking low, I just don't trust anyone. I've never played or touched anything involving AC. See, I have a very big love-hate relationship with it. Certain games I love, and then certain games I hate, and then some games I absolutely recommend, and then some games I don't really whatever. Some games I think are amazing in the series. Some of my favorite games of all time. And then other games I think are absolute dog shit, and I would not recommend that anyone. So the preview of Yasuke, I'm not keen on it. Yeah, I think the other thing that's going to be a problem is that they're basically saying there's 2 play styles. You could pick your character, you could play either way. You could play stealthily, or you could choose to not. And what I think is really going to happen is that you're going to end up playing as Yasuke, because if the game doesn't punish you for stealth, why would you not go stealthily? It feels like they just kind of threw in that lady at the end just so that way people wouldn't be able to say, people like me wouldn't be able to sit here and be like, oh, well, they just chose to not have you know, an actual Japanese protagonist. It feels like the fucking Sheva shit in Resident Evil 5. And that's the craziest shit to me. Is that, like, in Resident Evil 5, it felt like, oh, well, we're not going to have a secondary character. And then, like, they got all their backlash, and then they're like, okay, well, wait, here's Sheva. That's what it feels like to me. It feels really forced. It feels very last minute. So, yeah. I actually think the reincarnation plotline is fucking cool. But I don't want to talk about it too much, because that's superbly spoilers. That shit blew me away. Like, I was genuinely like, holy shit, this game is crazy. So, I don't know, like, and remember, when I first started playing Valhalla, I fucking hated it. I absolutely hated Valhalla. I thought it was just nigh unplayable. And the gameplay is definitely not Odyssey levels. It's not even close. But I did enjoy it a lot the more I played it. And I think that's really, like, the big sticking point about it, is I really did enjoy it the more I played it. No, it's not. No, reincarnation in that is advanced tech. It's not. No, it's not supernatural. Don't worry, it's not. There's no magic in Assassin's Creed. Other than you being able to jump off buildings and land on someone, and they take all the brunt of the impact, and then they could still give you a diatribe about why they did what they fucking did. Yeah, there's no. Don't worry. It's not magic. For some reason, I'm the only person who does not mark anything on the map of PLA. I just remember where everything is. Is that weird? No, that is totally fine. At this point, I don't even need these marks anymore. I put these marks up 2 years ago. I don't even need them anymore. Honestly, they're more in the way now than anything else. Now I just remember where everything is because I played the game for so long. I just know where to look for things. Sometimes I'll find something that's helpful, but because you can't mark, you can't even put enough things on the map anyway. So you're better off just not, I guess. Let's look for EVs real quick before I go do this. Wait, where's Magikarp again? Yeah, okay, I was right. I say let's look for EVs. What I really mean to say is let's look for anything, but EVs especially. Hell, I would argue that Resident Evil is way more supernatural. Some of those mutations in Resident Evil quite literally violate laws of what was it, laws of mass conservation? There's no way some 5'7" dude becomes this, like, 30, 40, 50-foot long dude in Resident Evil 5. That, like, you just accept it. It's just kind of whatever. It is what it is. It walks and talks and acts like magic. What the fuck? And then there's an alpha as well. Well, no, but it's not just presented like, oh, and then I reincarnated. There's a whole plot line that builds up to it, right? And it's not even the first and only time something like that has been done in, like, science fiction. There's a lot of things in science fiction. I would argue, without really spoiling it, it's kind of the same thing that they did in Wolfenstein. Let me just fight this guy. It's basically the same thing that they did in Wolfenstein, for anyone who's wondering. That's about as much as I could say without actually spoiling how it works. And if you've played Wolfenstein The New Order, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's one of the most traumatic scenes in the fucking game. Yeah, it is an actual goldfish. I'll actually train this Magikarp. I love Magikarp. Or at least I love Red Gyarados because I'm a Gen 2 boy. Because I've been playing Gen 2 for my whole life. But yeah, I wouldn't say that what they do in Wolfenstein is supernatural. And I don't know, I wouldn't say in like certain things, like the Matrix or other things, I wouldn't say that's supernatural. Like, to me, it's gotta be like something that is like very clearly either like ghosts, or like actual magic or stuff, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That to me is where it has to go. Because you could have certain plot lines where it's like, even BioShock kind of does it with how the Vita chambers work a little bit. Like, how would you be able to retain your memories, right? Like, I guess you could argue that Adam is literally almost like undersea magic, basically. But there is a little bit of a technological explanation behind how it works. It's not like they just say, and then you just poof into this chamber. You know, there's like, okay, well, we have your DNA imprint, right? You know, we could rebirth you or something. Alright, let's see if we get another one. That's the only reason I'm emptying this, and then we're going to go back up north. But yeah, for me, I'm just more like, you know, the Yasuke shit is just what's really kind of dragging me. I don't know. I get people are so thirsty to have a black character in a game. But the absolute balls of IGN to be like, yeah, you know, this is diversity and unnecessary, but let's not pretend that we care about Asian representation, is so fucking nuts to me. Because just a few years ago, they were like, hey, we need to stop Asian hate. You know, hey, Asian people are great people too, right? Asian people are awesome. Why are we, you know, stop Asian hate, stop this, stop that. And then that all vanishes. And now they're just like, eh, who gives a shit? Give the role to someone else. Give the role to a black dude. I hate these people, man. No, that's fine, Devin. I get it. I understand. If that's not your thing, then that's fine. I'm not gonna try to convince you out of it. I'm just saying that they do try to present it in a very technological manner. Which is one of the big things I like about that game. Okay, let's see. I feel like just having a series that runs for a very long time, which at this point is pretty much most major series that still remain, you're inevitably going to run into the idea of, well, how do we keep the story going, right? Like, do we just do infinite prequels like Gears of War kind of did? Or I guess they didn't do infinite. They're technically, they did one and it was bad, and then now they're doing another one. Or do you I don't know. Making a story that lasts 20 years is very fucking difficult. You know, like, I mean, even Martin can't finish Game of Thrones. And honestly, I guess you could argue, why should he? The hype around it is kind of faded. I mean, even he's one of those people that's like, well, why don't you like it anymore? Because it got bad. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to him. Like, because it was good when it was fresh and when it was new, and then it got bad, and then people stopped liking it. Like, is he really going to look at seasons 7 and 8 and be like, yeah, why don't people like my show anymore? Really? Like, at that point, I gotta question if you have eyes. The entire story of the first thing you see was that the entirety of the Christian religion was created because of the allusions from the Apple of Eden. It's one of my favorite moments in the series. And I mean, but like, yeah, that's still there. They actually expand on that moment in Valhalla, which is why I try to shill Valhalla to every single person, but then I have to, like, preface it with, but the gameplay is really not great. That's like my entire existence, like, saying Valhalla is a fantastic story with terrible gameplay. And I tried to get one of my friends to play it. I tried to get Gundam Otaku to play it, and, like, you know, he'll play whatever. I just feel really, it's like, whatever, man. I tried to get Mr. Soundwave to fucking play it, and he played it, but he'll play games and then he'll stop, and then he'll play it and then he'll stop, and then it never gets finished. And in fairness, Valhalla is a really, really long game. A really, really long game. It is a very long game. In fact, it was longer for me than Odyssey, which is even funnier because Odyssey, I genuinely map cleared the entire map. I did not do any of the side missions in Valhalla. I thought they were terrible from day one, and I did not do it. But that's a gameplay issue I have. That's not a whatever. I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm gonna buy Shadows, but I'm gonna buy it used, so I don't support them, and then we'll call it a fucking day. And then that way I can at least play it. Probably not gonna buy DLC. To be fair, most Assassin's Creed DLC has not been good, and I've said this for a long time. Like, I'm the one that buys it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if the DLC will be fire. And then the DLC is decisively not fire. And I'm like, wow, so I just basically paid $30 for a DLC pass that was not that great. And then I'll rinse repeat. Like, again, the Origins had the best DLC, by far. Because the DLC was specifically tied to Bayek. I fucking love that DLC, man. I love that. That was such a... I had such a great time with Origins. It was so fun. No, that's fine. I think we understand each other. I just think that for you, and I don't mean to say you like it's bad. Like, for you, they've pulled the curtain back a little bit. Too much. Right? Like, it's been almost what year is it? 2024? It's been 17 years almost since the first game came out. Whoever was writing it, probably not the same dude writing it now. Definitely not the same character designer at all. So I get that. There's a lot of things, like in most games, right, that are in a series. They'll have that first initial outing, and then every game after will be a different flavor, right? So Assassin's Creed 1, like, I think we talked about it last time. Terrible game to replay. Fucking awful game to replay. Even just playing it for your first time, it is awful. It is dog shit. It is the #1 game, I think, that needs a remake next to Code Veronica. And I guess Resident Evil 0, since they want to remake everything now, whatever. But I recommend Assassin's Creed 1 needs a fucking remake. By God, it's awful. But at the time, it was state-of-the-art. At the time, it was pushing new grounds. It was one of those Xbox 360, PS3 original titles, and you could tell it spins off a lot from Prince of Persia, which is really what it was derived from. And so it's so interesting and cool, and I don't know, for me, I feel like certain parts of the narrative have really evolved and changed and grown. I think they've introduced a lot of good characters, which is cool, but I can understand why too much of the curtain being pulled back ruins a little bit of the allure. I get that. It stops being more like a, you know, this big transcendental moment of real world stuff, and it becomes just another fantasy science fiction story. I get that. I actually understand that entirely. Because that's how I feel about a lot of games. And that's how I felt about Resident Evil way back when they were... Because they basically concluded Resident Evil's main story in 6. And then that was, like, kind of it. And I remember playing 7, and I'm like, well, why would I care about some random dude who's looking for his wife? You know, it feels like a Silent Hill game. Like, why would I care about Ethan and his wife or whatever? And, you know, they did a good job of tying it together, right? Like, I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty cool. 8 and I had the same thing again with 8. I'm like, do I want to play another game with Ethan? Do I really want to play another game with this dude? Now his daughter's missing, and Chris is evil. And then ultimately the game was really kind of dope. I liked it, so yeah. I don't know. I get that. Alright, Devin, no worries. Have a good one. I get that. I understand that feeling. And now, but now, you know, that's the thing, is like, whenever you have a series like that, it's like, well, how many entries can we make before we kind of run out, you know? So as much as I want Assassin's Creed to keep going, I also want them to go kind of back to what was really good about the story. And then they also need to stop recanonizing protagonists as being female after they've advertised the male protagonist all over the place, knowing that their player base is majority men. Either have a female protagonist or fucking don't. At this point, I'm done with the whole bullshit. If you're gonna let me choose, let it be even. Don't just fucking say, oh, well, this one character is canon, and then they did it after the fucking fact, which was really frustrating. Either have a female protagonist or don't. Stop being pussies. Seriously. If you really think that a female protagonist game is not going to sell because you're selling it to majority men, I feel like you're just crazy in 2024. Ain't no way Metroid comes out and sells and Tomb Raider sold literal 20, 30-year-old games and it was great. And they made a huge payday off that. They literally have the best-selling Metroid game in history 3 years ago. It's not a secret that Samus is a woman either. They're gonna sell Legend of Zelda: The Echoes of Wisdom, and it's gonna make a ton of money. So, like, you know, at this point, I just think you're crazy. I just think it's a cope because their games are bad. And I mean, if your games are bad, that's not a female protagonist problem. That's a you don't know how to make a fucking video game problem. You don't know how to advertise your game. If you want to have Cassandra be the main protagonist of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, then go for it. By all fucking means. Go for it. Make her an appealing character. I don't think most dudes sell, or most dudes care if it's a woman or not on the cover. Half the people arguing for Beyond Good and Evil are not women. I guarantee you. They're gonna be the dudes that they fucking hate, like me. Tomb Raider sells. Horizon, that's another good one. Horizon was made with that directly in mind, that they were going to make a female protagonist, and they were going to sell a game with a female protagonist. Okay, and now look at, as much as I don't like the stuff that they're doing with Horizon, as much as I did not like the plot of Forbidden West, right? Like, look at, and the DLC. Like, look at the stuff they're doing with it. There's a VR game, there's a Lego game coming out for it, right? Like, look at all the stuff that they're doing with Horizon this year, right? Like, come on. That's because you have all these consulting groups in gaming, but that's another topic for another time. They're telling studios one thing, and instead of making a product, they're making therapy games for the people that are consulting on them, which makes no fucking sense. And then you wonder why all these games feel so fucking weird. And you wonder why every male protagonist is a fucking idiot, and every female protagonist is God's gift to humanity. It just feels fucking boring, bro. I hate that. That was an Eevee, by the way. Damn, I guarantee you the vast majority of motherfuckers playing Metroid are not women. That's not even a dig at women, I just don't think most women care. Every woman I have ever met that has played Nintendo games, none of them have played Metroid. None of them. Every man I've met that plays Nintendo games is at least cognizant of Metroid, probably played Metroid Prime. Every woman I've ever met, even back when I was 10, they were playing Animal Crossing. Or Pokemon. And they probably don't play it, they probably don't play either anymore, honestly. Dude, I've been down this path like 10 times and she's never spawned. I haven't seen any of the sisters. To be fair, I haven't really been looking that hard. But I haven't seen any of the sisters in like half an hour. I'm sorry, in a full hour. And yes, I have been flying by their spawn spots. I haven't seen any. Actually, where does Charm spawn? Wait, hold on. Where does Charm spawn? Oh, to be fair, I haven't been going over here. That's fair. Fuck. Yeah, like, or in Ash's case, you've heard of it and you don't care. Or you're just not interested, or you just never bothered. Like, and that's fine. Stupid. Did I check Underground? I feel like I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Like, damn, bro, there's a reason I could play Metroid Prime any day of the year. But then I would just go back to streaming the same 5 games. Half of these games are now on the Switch. I can just play them whenever I want. The other half, I just have to push a few buttons and I can play it on my other consoles. Did I plug in my Wii? Yeah, I did. I have to find the stand for the Wii, actually. I don't know where I put it. I have to figure out where it is. I mean, look, I'm a level with you all. If anyone's even still there besides Ash. In another little bit, I'm going to go back and play 14. I have to go back to Crystalline Conflict. I just needed to take a break because I was getting frustrated. Between that and trying to move all this stupid shit onto this other hard drive, I was getting frustrated. So I said I just want to take a break. And I kind of have. So I guess in a little bit, I'm going back to Crystalline Conflict to torture myself. Hopefully I could get to level 20 tonight. Because if I could get to level 20 tonight, then on Sunday I could try to get to like level 22. And then Monday, I mean, I don't even want to cut it that close. I just need to marathon the fucking mode. So this is not going to be the longest stream I've ever done of this game. Because I need to go back and play 14. Because I waited till the end of the fucking existence to do it again. Because I'm an idiot. So we're gonna just get rid of this Bergmite challenge. I guess then we could go spam Ice Shard and then I'm done. And I have to evolve one of these. Actually, that's one of the things I'm a little bit worried about for GTA 5 or GTA 6 is I didn't think the writing of GTA 5 was that great. So I'm a little bit worried that like GTA 6, like, because I thought GTA 4 was one of the most interesting storylines I think I've ever seen. It's just not very replayable because there's no mission replay, right? Like you have to literally start a new game over. If you die, like you know, it's just very annoying to play through GTA 4. And I don't know if there'll ever be a remaster because obviously Nico's voice actor is like on bad terms with Rockstar. Like I think they stiffed him or something for some pay. I'm not really sure what the dispute is, but you know, obviously I feel a certain type of way because I love that game. I think GTA 4 is a masterpiece. And I even knew next to nothing about the Serbian conflict that the game has as a backdrop. Next to nothing about it. I just thought it was a really interesting story of a man trying to escape his past. Much like San Andreas, but just in a different way. And that's what I mean, like, really good stories, like, you shouldn't have to identify or be the same race, gender, creed, etc. of a character to really feel for them in a story. You want to know what you really understand? The struggle, the suffering, the pain, the loss. And then obviously the happy good moments too. The success, the victory, the achievement, the overcoming of trials. And how you write a character, even the facial animations they put out changes that and affects it. Because none of my family is near affected by or knew anything about Serbia, the Serbian conflict. None of it. The Yugoslav wars, knew nothing about it. But it's still an interesting story. I could still feel for Nico, and I could still understand the choices he makes, and the fact that they give you choices, and neither option is a guaranteed game over, right? It's just how you want the story to progress, is what makes that game uniquely distinct. Whereas GTA 5, like, the choices they give you are not as cut and dry. Basically, you just get to choose your ending. Only one of the endings was canon. To this day, they've never confirmed which ending of GTA 4 is canon. To this day. So it's completely up to the player's interpretation. And that's one of the things I think is really good about it. Is that at no point did they ever try to lecture you on what ending was better, or confirm an ending like what they did with the Fallout show, where they confirmed different endings for like 3 and New Vegas and all this other shit. I'm sorry, they confirmed one for 4. And then they're gonna do something New Vegas. Wow. I love it. Thanks, guys. And then they're going to make really disgusting changes to the plot. Like, oh, Mr. House, didn't know anything about when the bombs were going to fall. And now in the show, he's sitting on the fucking council of dudes saying the bombs are going to drop. Huh? How does that make any fucking sense? And like, yes, you could write around it, right? You could do all this weird stuff. It's the same thing with the Kiadi Mundi shit. Oh my god, that was a shiny? Dude, that does not look shiny at all. I see it now. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Wow. It took me a second. I was like, what the fuck? Listen, we are living it large out here. Look at all the shinies we get to grab. Fucking amazing, dude. That's why I love playing this game. Like, yeah, you're not guaranteed or even scripted or favored to get a shiny. Like, hello, Callum. You're not scripted to get a shiny you really like, but you're just, the odds of you getting one are really high. And that's why I like playing this game. Even as much bitching as I had for this game when it came out, the least I could say is that when you are pretty scripted to get a shiny. Seriously. And that's why I like this game so fucking much. Because this game is truly in a category of its own for shiny hunting. The only sad part about it is that there's not... No, it's not bouncing. The only sad part about it is that there's not, the Pokedex is small. That's really the sad part. 242 Pokemon, and I think, what was it, 220 some of it, or I think it's 228? It's some number of them are really, are repeatable. It's unfortunate. And remember, not all of them are returning Pokemon. So there's like, what, 20 new Pokemon or something? New forms, new everything. I love that, man. It's so good. I love that about this game. You want to know who's a really good character that I fucking love, but is basically in, like, none of the media of the franchise I care about? Silver. I thought Silver is such a cool villain in Pokemon, and then they literally never wrote anything to do with him again. Unfortunately. Like, that's why I thought the Gen 4 remakes were so good. I was like, oh my god, they actually confirmed the fan theory that Silver is Giovanni's son. That was so cool. And then they just never had Silver in another game again. Ever. Not even for like a brief interlude or something. Instead, you get Pokemon plots that make no fucking sense with characters you don't care about. You know how it is. And that's why I stopped caring about Pokemon story. Like, after Gen 4, the shift in Pokemon was so apparent, it was kind of gross. Alright, I think we have to reload maybe one more time to get the last Pokemon, or the last jumping rock, and then we could get the final Bergmite. Which, you know, I've definitely flown by at least 20 of these jumping rocks. I just never bothered to stop and catch them. I thought Silver was such an interesting villain, because he starts off being completely uncaring to his Feraligatr, or well, I always pick Chikorita, so I guess he picks Cyndaquil, or whatever, you get my point. He doesn't care about his Totodile or his starter at all, and then by the end of the game, he has a Crobat, which you can only get with high friendship. And I thought that was like one of the coolest things, because his Crobat honestly started to believe in him. It actually evolved because of high friendship, which is not how Silver started on his journey. And it's a shame that just none of those characters ever come back. They're just in the background for eternity. It's very unfortunate that Pokemon of all fucking games has a crazy lore system, and then they introduce the perfect narrative mechanic so that way all these crazy stories can happen, which is the multiverse theory. And then they just never talk about it again after Gen 7. It's so sad. Okay, I definitely don't care about this. Definitely don't care about this. Alright, after this we're gonna go spam Ice Shards. And then that's gonna be the stream, because that's gonna clear up 2 more Pokemon. It's gonna clear up Bergmite, and it's gonna clear up Snover. And then that way we'll be done with those 2. Oh, I have to evolve a Snover as well, which is not a big deal. And then technically Abomasnow is actually a Pokemon. It's not one of the Gen 4 evolutions. It just has one of those 70 times strong style things. And I guess Avalugg is one of those new evolutions. Yeah, I don't know why they treat Abomasnow like it. That's kind of interesting, actually. But whatever, sure, fuck it. And then we have the trade Pokemon, because I'm going to trade these someday. And then after this, the next one's Abomasnow and Bronzong. That'll be, and Basculin and Mantine. So we'll actually have 4 Pokemon left, and then we're just on to, like, the final, like, 20 Pokemon. If you can believe it. This journey is actually going to end sometime before I die. I can't believe it either. And then the evolutions, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a bunch of agile style moves. We could easily farm that out while doing other things in the game. I'm not worried about that at all. That is totally fine. We'll just keep going. Okay, so one more thing. You can kind of see the final couple of streams sort of coming together, which is actually really interesting. As you could see how we're basically at the conclusion of this challenge. We're almost there. Like, the end is in sight, in fact. So, like, yes, we have 20 Pokemon. Will I be able to do 2 Pokemon every stream for the next streams? No. But even if it takes me another 20 streams, we're still going to finish this challenge by the end of the year. Think about that. That's how close we are to finishing this. Okay, didn't even turn me red. He basically didn't even hit me. So we just found that shiny Abomasnow. That was normal shiny odds, because I do not have a dex perfected. Pretty dope. And I could go back to trying to salvage data off this fucking hard drive. And that's going to take me the rest of the night, if not most of tomorrow as well. That's fun. But this is why whenever you buy a hard drive, buy 2 and make a backup. Thank me later. I swear I'm not an employee of Seagate or Western Digital. I'm just giving you honest advice. Dude, I bought a fucking WD. This shit sucks, bro. I am only ever sticking with Seagate. Fuck that. I'm never buying a WD again. This is why when I started backing up my YouTube channel, I knew that I had to back it up twice. So I bought 2. Just like once a month. And by the way, it's about that time of month. Once a month, I go ahead and I back up all my YouTube channel. Any new changes I make, I go ahead and I back it up. So I actually have to do that. And I'll do it after this, probably, before I get back to this other thing. Okay. I was being stingy. It's not showing up. Ow. That hurt. Dude, they're trolling me now. I only need 1, and they're trolling me. Come on. Spawn at least 1, please. I mean, not that it really matters. We'll just run the loop again, but spawn at least 1. Okay. Okay, goodbye. Reset. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I just don't want to go in the underground on this map. I pretty much never go underground. It's just very annoying. So I just don't do that. Okay. We're just gonna run around with a team of 3 evolutions. I think the first set of evolutions I'm gonna work on is gonna be Vaporeon, Leafeon, and Jolteon. I gotta try to remember those 3. The reason why I'm gonna work on those 3 evolutions is because those are gonna be the 3 hardest to work with. There's tons of bug types for Flareon. Sylveon, there's tons of fighting types that we could work at. There's not a ton of dark types. Fighting types are not that bad. And then, what else? And wait, does this one count? No, this one is not. That's not. That's a snow or the other one. Here we go. All right, so now we're just gonna leave this area. We're gonna go like find some easy low-level flying types. Like we need to go find like some Staravias or some shit. Okay, let's leave. We're gonna go find some... What's a really good low-level Pokemon to go fuck with? I think we just go fight some Staravias, seriously. So I don't know, where do we go? If I need to use Ice-type moves, where do I go? I could go to Obsidian. I could also go... to Cobalt. I think Cobalt is actually better, and we could look at the Walrein event when we're done. trying to be like a super big brain. I think each area is like equally bad for flying or for ice types. Okay. There you go. And then we also found the Obama Snow. Okay. We need to... We have a Bergmite. What was the other one? Snover? Do I have a spare Snover? Do I have one that's alpha? No. Alright, it's not a big deal. Okay. Let's drop... Basculin we could drop just for a minute. I'm gonna move it over here. Alright. There you go. And then Snover. Perfect. You know it right away, and it's in slot 1. Alright, now we just have to use 20... Oh, no, hold on. Let me level them up. And let me also empty my inventory, since I didn't do that last time. Now, unfortunately, Bergmite is just a slow Pokemon, as the name suggests. Hell, even Snover and Obama Snow, they're not very fast. None of these Pokemon are winning a speed tie or a speed race. There's not really much I could do about that. That's just how things have to be, unfortunately. Okay. We only need, what, 10? Three, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna start pathing out my final streams of this then, since we're so fucking close. I think next stream we're definitely gonna do Bronzong, Mantine, and or Basculin. That's gonna be like one of the few streams left where we actually like have to... Oh, I don't have that many, oops. Okay. You know what, sure. I like this one. For some reason. Maybe not, actually. Fuck that. Alright, let's get Bergmite out the way. Not that I like shiny Bergmite, but let's just do it. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is next stream we'll work on those 3 Pokemon. We'll get that kind of sorted. And then after that... I think the next 2 streams we just try to mop... Why is there a Staraptor here? Oh, good lord. I think we just spend those few streams, like, sort of sorting that all out. Okay. I gotta give it every advantage in the book. That's not a one-shot. I kind of felt it wasn't, because we're same level. And the reason I choose this area is just because I know there's a lot of birds on this one particular patch of land. After this, you could really go, and then also you could go to the bug area as well in Obsidian, like right next to that Magikarp event we were at earlier. That also works. Oh shit, is this gonna exit the battle? No. Okay. I was also considering the Myrlands because there's Hippopotas and some rock types, but that's not really that great. That's a little bit better if you want to do water types, right? Like Aqua Jet and stuff. So when we do Vaporeon, we actually have quite a few options. We could either go basically wherever there's a rock type or something. Wow, look at that. Ice is a great type. What? Wait, why am I using Snover? What the fuck? Oh, I had the wrong Pokemon out. I didn't even realize. Must have switched it at some point. I mean, again, Ice is not a great defensive type regardless, but at least now we're not weak to any flying type moves. Where? Okay. Is this a good spot? Yeah, because then we could also hit up the bugs. And, well, to be fair, they're going to be gone by the time I get over there. Really should be a teleport at the end of the cave. That really does suck. I know I think about that like every time I come to this area, but it really is like a missed opportunity to have a really effective teleport. Have one right on top of that. Because you could access all the water from there. Moon Gazing, English cover, Final Fantasy 16. '16 had good music. I mean, but Final Fantasy always has good music. Oh, nice. Final Fantasy is just a very storied franchise with good music. I love that. Okay. I forget, when you're not using super high level Pokemon, like every fight is just really annoying against like reasonably leveled Pokemon. Alright, can you move, please? Thank you. Everything deals so much damage in this game. And like, again, the trade-off would be that you don't keep status effects after combat, but I don't know how much of a trade-off that is. We might have to rethink our strategy when it comes to Snover, because Snover is just weak to too many Pokemon. Grass just has so many weaknesses, it's just not even funny. And there's not really much you could do about it. Grass and Ice are just two really weak types, because all the moves that counter them are very common. So when you combine a Grass and an Ice type, and Ice doesn't have any resistances to like certain types of moves, it really sucks. How does Ice not resist flying? Like, that's wild to me. That's like such an easy thing to throw in there. If Ice resisted flying, then like think about it. Snover could be a really good counter. Could be a really physical, bulky counter to certain things. That's why flying types get away with so much murder. Especially Galewing's Talonflame was just flat out just getting away with murder back in the day. And then they nerfed Galewings, and now you never see it, because now you can't regen enough health to make it worthwhile. I like how it was a completely broken, like, really optimized thing to use for the longest, and then they just nerfed it. With one stroke, it became useless. It's because Gale Force is really strong in Fire Emblem. They had to have something. They couldn't just let him get away with it forever. When does Abomasnow level? Or I think it's 42. I'm pretty sure I had to do that in some game I played. It's 42. Yeah, because you have to complete the Sinnoh-Dex. What do you get when you complete the Sinnoh-Dex? I think you get access to something. You have to at least see every Pokemon, or is it catch every Pokemon? I never remember this. I feel like it's you have to catch every Pokemon, and then the only real version exclusive that you can't catch, or is it see every Pokemon? I think maybe it's see every Pokemon. but the only version exclusive you can't actually see is the other Fox Legendary. And they don't do this anymore in Pokemon. There's never like a third version to tie things together anymore, which is a huge L, because those third versions genuinely sometimes are just cooking with great ideas. And they stopped doing that, and I really hate that. I like those third versions. Those third versions were fun. Emerald is iconic, and Platinum is, you know, Platinum tries to be Emerald 2.0. It does its own thing, which I think is cool. I thought the Distortion World shit was really nice. Now, apparently, if you lose, you have to run all the way back up Mount Coronet, but I never lost that fight. I don't really lose fights in Pokemon. So, yeah. The only actual difficult fight that I think about a lot is Misty, because sometimes Misty, you could go into her underlevel and her Starmie just never lets you move. And that's it. Especially since I play Charmander. You don't exactly have a ton of good options against Misty at the start of the game. The first two gyms in Kanto are a little brutal, and then after that, it's easy. Oh, I forgot. You have to stun it. I did it wrong. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, okay. Let's... What are we cooking with at the moment? God damn, that's a lot of sparkles on those Pokeballs. Seriously. That's the results of all the work I've done, man. It feels good. Alright, 8 more for you, and we've literally... Oh, it's Powder Snow! I even read it correctly. It's Powder Snow. Yeah, we're definitely going to a low-level area then. Oops. I didn't even read it correctly. It's Powder Snow for you and Ice Shard for this dude. Is this a special move? Oh my god, it's a special move. Fuck! God damn it. Alright, well, we're gonna go to a low-level area. We're gonna go to Obsidian to do that. Because there's tons of, like, low-level Beautiflies and other enemies we could fight, like Shinxes or something. And then these should be the last, like, really weak ice types we need to use. I'll probably go catch that Alpha Obama Snow again. And then that way I could use that. I'm going to use this Bergmite. I'm going to evolve it. Alright, let's take a look at this. Purple Walrein. Like, technically I could dig through this, but that's a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do that. Kind of just want to focus on this, because like I said, I have to get back to Crystalline Conflict. The reason why I'm not streaming 14 and not streaming Crystalline Conflict is because Crystalline Conflict pisses me the fuck off. So I'm not streaming that, because that would be incredibly toxic streaming. I'm not going to do that. I thought about it. Actually, I do need to stream 14, though. Because I did get a bunch of mounts, actually. And that's kind of what... That's the only nice thing about PvP events. There's the Garo event going on. I'm actually going to try to complete the frontline events. I'm going to start doing my PvP roulette. Because basically what the PvP roulette does is it gives you season pass experience, for lack of a better word. There's a season pass for PvP. No, you cannot pay money to unlock it. You only progress it by actually playing PvP. And I might as well just do the PvP frontline every day. There's no reason not to. Like, I might as well just do it, so that way I could get progress on it. And I'm going to start doing that every day. Now, obviously, when Dawn Trail comes out, I'm just going to play the story, right? Especially for my main character. I'm not going to, you know, run around and play a billion things and do a billion this and a billion that. Right? I'm not going to do that, right? Dawn Trail comes out, I'm just playing Dawn Trail until we beat the main scenario. Then afterwards, if we want to mess around and do other things, I will be happy to go do roulettes and stuff. But, like, I'm not doing roulettes for the first 2-3 days. Like, why the fuck would I do that? That's stupid. And yes, we will have a 12-hour stream of Dawn Trail on Friday, a week from yesterday. Now, that will stop because I want to watch Toonami Rewind for 2 hours. So for 2 hours, I will just not be streaming, and then I'll probably come back and play like another couple hours. That's pretty much going to be my whole day next week. Because I'm going to basically play Dawn Trail nonstop. That's going to be next week, my whole day, pretty much. And that's fine. Alright. And then, well, we evolve it, I think, after this. Do we? Actually, we might not even need to. Yeah, ice not resisting flying is a huge L. Okay. Nope, that's it. Okay, let's evolve it, because we're going to use this one. Then we just go use Powder Snow 25 times. By the way, this is the sickest evolution animation. I know I've said that before, but it really is. They're never going to use it again. Alright, let's get out of here. The best Pokemon in this game are definitely the ones that move really fast. Shit. Definitely the ones that move really quickly and have, like, really good stats. Like, I mean, you could say that about any game. But, like, if you could just hit hard, like, that's why Weavile is so good, because Weavile, I think, really glitches the game. I don't think it's supposed... The game systems probably weren't tested with a Pokemon that moves as quickly as Weavile. And that's why Weavile is able to move as fast as it does, because I don't think that they were really accounting for a Pokemon as quick. I'm on the wrong count. They weren't really accounting for a Pokemon as quick as Weavile. Okay, we're done with Bergmite. Alright. Bronzong, Basculin, Mantine, Mamoswine, Dusknoir. We're going to do Snover today, so I'm just going to move that over to completed. Today is 6/22/24. Put it in here. 6/22/24. One Pokemon done. We are now at 78.93%. Alright. We have to go to a very low-level area, because Snover cannot fight anybody. Because it's just that bad of a Pokemon. And this is why whenever that one sister shows up, is it Clover? I just know I'm going to steamroll her, because her Pokemon is weak to, like, every type imaginable. And that's the unfortunate thing about ice types, is they're just not durable enough. They don't have resistances, and they're just not durable. And they're slow. So, like, they have everything working against them. They can't be glass cannons because they're too slow. They don't have the literal base stats to be tanky, and then they're also just weak to everything. And they just never changed how ice types were. So combo grass with most types, and it just has too many weaknesses. Like, I feel like grass needs to lose, like, at least a couple of weaknesses, man. It's too much. You can't be weak to 7 types. You know, like, especially common types. Yeah, it's too much. You gotta have, like, a grass dragon type before it's anything effective, and then one ice move and you're toast. No crazy ability. There's no abilities in this game, period. So there's absolutely nothing is gonna bail out a Pokemon in this game. Or in most games, anyway. Alright. Eevee time, maybe. Oh, I guess it's not Eevee time. I guess it's still not Eevee time. It's always Eevee time in my heart. What the fuck? Weasel. Alright. I think the last spawn is over here, maybe? Not too sure about that. I feel like this might just be Bidoof spawns. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. We could cross the river here, and there's like a ton of reasonably low-level Pokemon we can fuck with. Alright, what level are you? 21, okay. Should be good enough. Hopefully. Oh my god, it's not a one-shot, dude. Look how much health he took in return. Wow. I probably left him on exactly 1 HP. That's so insane. Anyway. Actually, let's not waste that. Alright. What didn't I upgrade about this, dude? Seriously. Dude, I never okay. Let me maybe if I upgrade his special attack, right? That might be enough to guarantee a one-shot. I don't know. The calculations are all fucked up in this game. They're all different. Oh shit. Alright. You have to KO him. You missed! Forget it. Run. We're running. Oh shit, it missed. But now my stats are lowered. So I don't know if I could actually KO him or not. Let's see. Whatever. I'm gonna have to revive him. What can you do? There's nothing I can do. Wow. It wasn't even a one-shot even after that. That's crazy. That's so fucking... This Pokemon sucks. Who uses this fucking Pokemon? Literally no one uses this Pokemon, dude. And it missed. Wow. It's kind of wild, actually. I'm just going to heal. Because I know I'm not going to one-shot him. This one's even higher level. So I know I'm not going to win that. Oh wait, he could just use this over and over and I'm never going to get to attack him. Oh, that's fantastic. Alright, whatever. You got good luck with Frostbite. It missed. Okay, didn't I get... Don't I have another turn? Yeah. Can you not miss twice? Oh my god! He misses twice, dude. Come on. This is so... And now the fog lifts. Oh my god. This game is just a bad luck simulator. By the way, they respawned because the weather shifted. That's so funny. Unbelievable. I have the worst luck out of anyone in history. Alright, but here's what's going to happen, is that once I'm done with Dawn Trail, I know for a fact I am going to start, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to start playing a bunch of different games. In fact, as Ash said, I will be playing Rise of Ronin. I will install it, or at least see if it's... What the fuck was that noise? What is that noise? It was in the game. That was weird. Dude, you can't even one-shot a level 17 Burmy? This thing is less than half of your fucking level. Oh, that's so terrible. That's so bad. I think it's no, there we go. There we go. I wasn't sure if it was gonna run or not. I'm gonna see if it's installed or not. That and a couple other games I'm also gonna toss on. Again, that M2 is really nice. I have no complaints about that. Why did that one get aggroed and this one didn't? That's really weird. Alright, and when it turns to nighttime, we're just gonna go back and change the time of day again. And then that'll probably give us enough that we won't have to worry about it. Is that Heracross over here? Oh yeah, perfect. There's just nothing but Combees. This is actually really good. This might be one of the biggest gathering of Combees in the game, which is nice, you know. Yeah, I don't know why they get like that. Unable to be caught. That's really weird. I kind of want to play a game where I use Beedrill a little bit. It's a shame that they introduced Beedrill's Mega form in the Hoenn games. Same thing with Mega Pidgeot. I love Mega Pidgeot. It's one of my favorite Megas. By far and away. I love it. But I kind of wish like there was a game where you could get a Weedle, and then you could use the Weedle a whole bunch. Because I think Weedle is just seen as one of those like early game, like low-level trainer Pokemon. I think it would be really cool to actually use a Weedle, like how I used a Wurmple in this game and it became a Dustox. The only thing is that they just don't have the stats to really keep up with a lot of other Pokemon, so they just kind of... If you're not Mega Evolving Beedrill, you're probably just not getting a good amount of usage out of it. Which is really unfortunate, because I like it. I think it has one of the cooler Megas, and that's the thing I liked about Megas, you know? And I could even say, like, for Terastallization, same thing. It's a good idea. I don't know if every Pokemon should have it. I feel like every Pokemon should have one. And then that way they don't have to feel obligated to add a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Certain Pokemon get Megas, certain Pokemon get Gigantamax, certain Pokemon get, Terastallization, basically anything that doesn't get one of those two. Because I think Ekans being able to be a good dragon type, or Arbok being able to be a good dragon type abuser is pretty dope. That's such an interesting strategy. And obviously not every strategy is gonna work. But it would be kind of cool. Alright, I think we have to wait. That's a Geodude. Alright, we might have to go back and sleep, because this is like the best area to find some of these, and Dustoxes aren't... Do Mothams still appear? They might. If not, then I'm going to go back and sleep. There you go. Alright, can you come over here? Alright, perfect. I think we're gonna have to go back and sleep anyway. Alright, 3 more usages. I mean, okay. What now? Because Dustox definitely knows a bug type. Oh, here we go. The Combi spawn at night. That's perfect. Alright. And then, I think Bronzong we just have to fight with. Mantine? Yeah, I think all of them we just have to fight with. So next time I'm definitely going to do Mantine. Mantine is, I think, what, a water move and air slash. So that's going to be pretty easy to max out. Bronzong is also just another one we just have to use and max out. I think I'm going to start working on... not the, what is it? Not the story Pokemon, but the Sinnoh evolutions. I'm going to work on those after that. Because those are just like 70 usages, right? They're all pretty high-level Pokemon. And then that'll be kind of easy. We could just start to, you know, go to different areas. Just prioritize a couple things here and there. That's exactly what I'm going to do next time. Is we're going to work on those last couple of Pokemon. So I'm actually going to lay out the order in which I expect to finish some of these Pokemon going forward. Very nice. Wait, what? Oh, we have to evolve it. Oops, I totally forgot. We have to evolve it. Are you eligible to evolve? No. Okay, that's fantastic. Boy. Okay, there you go. It's level 40. Perfect. In fact, I actually only had to use one, probably. Well, you might think this is something happy and lucky. It's bad, because now I have to go back to Crystalline Conflict. I'm gonna try to hit level 20 tonight. Very nice. Okay. Dump that. Dump pretty much almost all of this. Because we definitely don't need to carry all of it. Almost at all. Put that away. I don't even need all this. I'm gonna put the Lepa berries away. Let's try to start collecting a whole bunch of berries. Yeah, why am I carrying all these? Nab, I don't even need to carry that. I'll put away the max of that. I don't really care. Alright, this could be... These have some use, right? So, like, this is good if you want to distract. I don't even use the lady anymore for those, which is fine. And then balls of mud, I don't even need this anymore. Yeah. So, like, this is... And I don't even need citrus berries, because I could just have infinite healing for everything else. So... Okay. That's pretty much it. We just bring the 4 different items of food, since apparently I don't have any rock salt anymore, which is not a big deal. Because we're not going to be feeding Pokemon anymore, actually. Yeah, you almost don't even need the food anymore. That's how late game we are. Certain items I just don't even need anymore. Because I've just done so much in this game. We're running out of things to do. So, if you follow along on the document, right? Basically, we've finished Snover. So now we have what? Rotom. Rotom is... Okay, so let me move Mamoswine and Dusknoir. I'm going to move those over. We're going to do Rotom and Abomasnow. And that's like our next 5 Pokemon is going to be Bronzong, Basculin, Mantine, Rotom, and Abomasnow. At some point, I don't know when, I'm going to have Ash. We're going to trade the other Pokemon back and forth a whole bunch. Oh, and Mamoswine. Technically, Mamoswine's a Gen 4 evolution. No, that's true. So at some point we'll do that. So I'm gonna start. Oh, and Spiritomb. It's not a Gen 4 evolution, but if you looked at the decks, it has a bunch of stuff in it. Okay. So even though we have another what, like 30-some Pokemon, like 11 of them are from the story. In fact, I should actually sort it out now, right? So there's the evolutions, right? There's 8 evolutions. We'll give them a special background. Let's give them... What color haven't we used? Let's give them pink, right? Wordier, Cleaver, Overquill, Ursaluna, Basculegion, Hisuian Electrode, Hisuian Avalugg, and Sneasler. These are all what I call the story Pokemon, because they play a role in the story. I'm going to give them like a hot pink background. Maybe I should give them another color. Let's give them like a red background. Fucking like a red background. There you go. Rotom is another non-whatever Pokemon. And then we have the evolutions. Mamoswine, Gliscor, Probopass, Dusknoir. I'm going to count Spiritomb as one of them, even though it's technically not. Rhyperior, Magmortar. Because I've already done Tangrowth and I think one other one. Those are what I'm just going to call the Gen 4 evolutions, right? And then we just have the fossil Pokemon, which are just existent. And then that's it. So, those are going to be the couple of categories. If you look on the Google Doc, those are the couple of categories I have left, basically. Now, granted, it is a lot of Pokemon. It is still about another 30 or so. But if you look down the list, you can see we have basically wrapped up most categories of Pokemon, okay? So the order I'm going to tackle this in is I'm going to work on the yellow Pokemon first, right? I'm going to call these the Nothing Specials. The second category I'm going to work on is going to be the Gen 4 Evos, right? That's what I'm going to call them, the Gen 4 Evos. These are Pokemon introduced in Gen 4 and Spiritomb. There's nothing else special about them besides that. What else? We're also going to have the story Pokemon. Give that the same color. And then the last things beyond that are the evolutions. We're going to give that the same, like, bland pink color or whatever the fuck it was. In fact, I'm just going to copy paste. Alright. And so all in all, like I said, we still have another 22 Pokemon? No, 32 Pokemon. I think. But, like I said, most of those we could section off into categories, which is going to make it really easy. So, as I've said many times, thank you all. We're done now. I'm clocking out because I've done 2 Pokemon today, and that's already good enough for me. But moreover, we are now in sort of approaching that final stretch. Once we whittle down the Pokemon in yellow, which it's only 5 Pokemon, right? So once we get to about, what is it, another 5 Pokemon will put us at what? 197, right? Once we get to 197, we'll take care of the fossil Pokemon as well. Once we have taken care of the fossil Pokemon after that, that's it. It's just story Pokemon and then the Gen 4 Evos. So that's kind of the general flow that I'm going to go with, okay? I'm going to do the fossil Pokemon at some point, which will just be a bunch of trading back and forth. Shieldon and Bastiodon. And then after that, we'll work on the Gen 4 evolutions. Alright, very nice. Thank you, Ash. Thanks, Callum. Thanks, Devin. Thanks, Viv. Thanks, Blake. Thanks, Raiden. Thanks, Light-Minded. Hope you all had a good day. Hope you're all staying cool. I'm clocking out. I'm getting out of here. Thank you all very, very much. See you later. Have a good one.